Welcome back everyone to Djansa's Creations. So the next project is going to be slightly different. I have used my laser printer for part of it, and that part of it is a map of Africa with 3 countries cut into it. So the one side has got some leaves. I want to try and put something at the back so you can actually see. There you go. So this one has got an elephant and its baby and some leaves. And then the countries I have cut out is Angola, what today is known as Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Now these are the 3 countries that mean something to me. Angola was the country I was born in. Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, was the country that I grew up until I was 14, 13, somewhere around there. And then South Africa, of course, is I went to school, or at least high school, got married, had my children, so it has a substantial part of my life was in South Africa. So I wanted to do something with that. Now, on the opposite side, again, it's got the same countries cut out, except this one has got trees and some giraffes. So what's going to happen is these are going to be stuck together, like so. One side and the other side. So that's part of the project. And the other part of the project consists of an ostrich egg. Now, for some reason, I have some markings on it. I have no idea what I was going to do, so I'm going to have to rub all those out. And that is going to be the next part of my project. Stay tuned and let's start crafting. Alright, so we are going to start painting these. Now my idea is on the outline here, let me just grab a little brush. This outline here, I want to do all that in blue, so like the ocean type thing. And as you can see, the tree has got little holes in it, so that I'm going to fill up with a 3D lacquer, and I'm going to use different green colors for it. I thought that would be nice. Then of course the rest is because it is so minute, like the giraffes and that, I'm going to obviously try and get the patches, but it's never going to be perfect because they are really, really tiny. Now the other thing that the laser cut was in between the 2 countries here, Zimbabwe, Rhodesia and South Africa. There should be a divide there, because it was just one line, and I left it red instead of making it black to engrave it, so it cut it out. So I will build that part up also, so that it actually shows and differentiates for the 2 lines. I'll show you, I got this collection 2 years ago. Let's just bring you out a little bit. It was in Christmas 2019. I actually got 2 sets, and it was only this year, December, that I've really started using it. I actually forgot I had them, I think because of, I don't know where I put them, and then all the tidying up after moving in and that, I decided, oh, let's put this somewhere where I can actually use them. Let's get this show on the road. Now, I think the first color I want to do is definitely the blue. So what you've just seen me use on the elephant is some Liquitex glass gel. So all I want to do is, I want to let it harden now. But basically, I want to just give the elephant a little bit of texture. So I'm hoping it will work. So once it's dry, then what I'll do is I'll just go over with a little bit darker paint and just sort of brush on it, if that makes sense. Also, what I did, I don't know if you noticed, but this part is not in blue, it's in black, because this part does actually join, I'd have to think of what the country is over here. So I've done that in black. Now, over here, I'm sure there is ocean here also, but I will double check on my atlas when I go inside. But if it's not, then I'll also make that black, just so that it actually shows that there's something there. I don't want it to be totally incorrect. Doesn't have to be 100% correct either, but I just like a little bit of correctness to it, if that's the correct word. Too many corrects at the moment. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to finish this off. There's no point in putting you on a time loop and then all you're watching is me painting little things. So unfortunately, with doing more than one project, I forgot that the camera was set for time lapse. So while I did talk through this, nothing came out because the camera was on time lapse. So basically, as you could see, the elephant side was finished. I colored in the giraffes with some yellow ochre. And then there I'm just doing the background so that it's also that sort of sunset. I am really sorry for the color on this video. There was a lot of light coming in through the window, but I did in the meantime close the curtains, and that seemed to have improved later on. Anyway, so we're going to let this dry and then come back to it. Okay, so now we are going to get into the second part of this project, and that is where the goose egg comes in. So now for the next... As the previous part was in time lapse without my realizing it, I had explained what I wanted to do, so let me explain again. So I had said that on the inside I wanted to do one side of the hand in black, as it is here. This side will be in white, and then I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but then decided halfway, well, as I was busy, the outside would be opposite. So where the hand on the inside is white and the outside will be black, and where it's black on the inside, the outside will be white. And then this bottom section over here, I want to fill up with resin, so it sort of like is the ocean, basically. That's what I want to do over here. So I'm going to give, especially the outside, I want to give it a second coat of the black. And then we can get going on the white, well, once the outside part is dry, because as you can see, there's quite a bit. The inside is fine, doesn't need another coat, but the outside definitely does. Okay, I actually think that's a nice second coat. Okay. Then I can start with the white. I'll let that dry properly now. Alright, so we are back. We are now going to do, as you can see, the inside of the hands are painted, as are the outside. But for now, we're going to concentrate at the bottom. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and put it that way so you can actually see what I'm doing. What I want to do is I'm going to put some sand in there. So I've got sand that I used for a previous project. A box that I did with sort of a river ocean type thing. I'll put a link in the description so you can always go and have a look at that. So I'm going to put some sand at the bottom, And I've mixed some resin. I mixed it about 10 minutes ago, so it's fine to go. I know I mixed far too much, but I'll use it for other projects. Right, so now I've got a spoon here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle just a little bit. Oh, and at the bottom, I've got some of that tape that I use generally for my eggs. And then I have reinforced that with some masking tape because I really don't want any leaks. And the sounds you will hear is Layla, even though she can go in and out of the shed today because it is a beautiful day and I've got the door open. Pity we can't mix a lot of resin and then come back a few hours later and carry on with it. But obviously I'm going to give this a few hours to settle. It doesn't need to totally dry. And then I'm going to start with the blues on it. So as you can see, let me try and bring this closer. Now I've done this on a spare towel so that I can actually move it away and it's still stable. But as you can see, there you go. Here's the sand at the bottom. Alright, so we're back. It has been a few hours and it's still a little bit, it's not, yeah, it's still flexible, but that's not a problem. So I've mixed some more resin with two different blues. There you go. And I have used deep blue and light blue. Alright. Now what I actually want to do is I'm going to pour them in at the same time, but I've obviously got to be careful because I don't want it to come over this rim. So here we go. And these fingers do not make it easy either. And I'm actually going to leave it like that. I'm not going to mix it. I'm not going to do anything with it. And I also don't think I can bring you in closer because I might tip it. So let's just see if I can. It's a perfect way. There you go. A nice close-up. And just like that, disaster struck. One of the fingers broke. So, from that time lapse, you would have noticed that one of the fingers on my hand broke. Well, not my hand, but on the ostrich egg hand broke. There it is. So I'm going to try and see if I can salvage this. One, I don't have another ostrich egg, and two, I really don't want to start from scratch, so hopefully I can salvage it. I've just been inside and got my super glue. Might have to give it another coat of paint, but that is the least of my worries if it works. So please everybody, fingers crossed that this is going to work. You know, the whole time the hand was in the kitchen, I was petrified Layla was going to knock it off the table. is it that the one time you want super glue to stick, it will not? I don't know what to do now. I just want to cry. No, I just want to cry.
Well, it's not the easiest thing to try and hold the finger and also and try to glue it, so I opted to stick it down with still super glue, but then just to put some masking tape on the outside and the inside. If the masking tape doesn't come off, that the super glue has adhered to it, then I'm going to leave it, and what I will do is sand it down and paint it, and hopefully it will be alright.
Well, seeing as how you saw what happened with the finger, I thought it would only be fair to take off the tape and everything else on video so you could see whether or not this has survived, or if I've got to start from scratch, which then might be several months before this project even comes to a conclusion. Okay, so it looks like it is stuck there, and I am definitely not going to force it off. I don't want to crack the finger again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out there. Now, of course, trying to save one finger, let's not break any others. Now, this project will never be for sale. It is mine. It is a personal one. So, you know, these little imperfections, so be it. I probably would redo the whole thing if it was a commission or I was going to be selling it. But I'm not, because as the project starts coming together, you'll see why you should already know from the start of the video or the start of the project why it's so personal to me. So, you know, these little imperfections are not going to bug me anyway. I'm not perfect, so suits me fine. There you go. And now, I know I said I was going to sand it, but the finger is just so fragile that I'm afraid to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a few coats of white, give it a few coats of the black, and then carry on with the glitter. But finger is salvaged. The finger is saved. Well, everyone, we are now going to do the rhinestones onto the hands. Now, if I tell you the disasters I've had with these hands, I've never had so many problems with hands I've done before. But other than the finger you saw me break, another finger broke, and then yesterday while I was trying to create sort of waves in there, the hands literally broke apart. So if you remember, there's always been a bit of egg at the bottom here. It's now painted in blue, but as you can see there, you can still see that crack there. Now they both broke apart, and it's just been one disaster after another. But we're finally getting to this stage. So the rhinestones I'm putting is colorful ones. It's all different colors. There you go. After all, well, it's South Africa, but the map does have 3 other countries. South Africa is known as the Rainbow Nation. Now, I want to be super careful with them. I don't want any more disasters, or I might have to start the hand project all over again. But fingers crossed, it is all going to go well while I put this on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely put you in a time lapse, and I'm going to do a little talking because I really need to concentrate. I'm just so afraid of anything else going wrong that it needs my utmost concentration. See you in a bit.
Okay, so you'll see me start with the rhinestone and then pull it apart to put on some cord. Now, what I realized is if I was putting the rhinestone in on the inside of the fingers or just the side of them, you wouldn't be able to see it nicely. And then I remembered that the other hands that I have done, I have added cord to it. So now the rhinestone will go on the outside.
So we are reaching the end of this project. As you would have just seen in the time lapse, the bling is on. I finally got that sorted. I'll have to take all these little webs away from the clear glue. Anyway, I don't want to touch it just yet. I've mixed the 5-minute epoxy glue, the 2-part. Now what I did is, because I've placed the hands on the little stand, showing you this little stand I think right at the beginning, and I've placed the hands on where I think they are balanced and they are centered, and with a toothpick I've made a sort of a scratch at the bottom to put the glue on. Now just be careful I don't keep knocking those fingers. I don't want any more disasters at this stage. And I'm just going to put on the epoxy glue approximately where I think is correct. And I think that looks perfect. Let me just show you. Here you go. It is finally coming to an end. Finally. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of time to settle in, and like I said, it was already almost setting the glue, yeah, so it won't take too long. And then I will mix a little bit more to put the final bit together. Okay, so now to put this bit in, I actually think I'm going to bring the camera the other ways. Alright, now I'm hoping you won't see too many hands, but basically what's going to happen is that's going to go in there, and I might have to hold it to balance it, but can you actually see that? I can't see what you see. Okay. All right, so my glue is mixed. Let's try this. I wanted it to be a little bit more set, because then it just means that it doesn't move around too much, but at least I might have a little bit of leeway as to where I want to put it down. It is a shell I have it on. There you go. And I've put a little bit of sand on the inside of the shell. Can you see that? Yep. So let's do this. Okay. And I don't want to put it straight. I want to put it a little bit on a slant and round about there. leaning forward, it's going to fall. Oops. Bring you back. Let's hold you a little bit longer. Well, while I'm holding this together, I want to thank you all so very much for being here with me on this very long journey. It has taken me several months to do this with all the breakages and everything that has happened. It generally wouldn't take me that long to put an egg together, not even one like this. I mean, I know for you it will probably be 20 minutes, a little bit longer, but I do want to thank you all so very much for being here on this journey with me. I hope you have enjoyed my putting this egg together, and please remember to like, subscribe, press that notification bell so you're notified of all the upcoming projects. And I have a few more egg projects coming up, especially ostrich eggs. I got hold of a few ostrich eggs, so I'm itching to do projects that come out of my head. So please do click that notification bell. Remember to stay to the very end so that you can see some photos and a little video of it rotating all the way around so you can get the benefit of all sides. But above all, wherever in the world you might be, please stay safe, stay well, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.